All right, guys. So Spider-Man Homecoming. It's that time. I went last night and saw it, and I wanted to put together a quick first take video. For those of you that don't know, this is Dave, usually Dave, from the digitalSoup podcast, and this is a Spider-Man Homecoming first take extra. And wow, the mosquitoes are bad out here. I don't want to say too much because obviously I don't want to spoil the film, but what can I say about this movie? First off, let's start with the good stuff. Number one, Michael Keaton as the Vulture. One of the best jobs of Marvel handling a villain where the villain doesn't feel like he's kind of lame or hamstrung already. He feels legitimately, wow, these mosquitoes, legitimately intimidating and threatening through this whole film. But he's got a soft heart as well, which you'll find out towards the end of the movie. But really, really excellent job by Michael Keaton playing the villain role in this film. Now, Tom Holland as Spider-Man nails it. It was so refreshing to see someone like him, that young Peter Parker in high school, struggling with it, you know, fitting in with his friends and all the balancing of school and everything else he has to do. Really, really did a great job, as well as he fit the role so perfectly when it came to Spider-Man and his fighting style. Not just the way he looks. I'm talking about how as he's fighting, he's got these quick one-liners and little, bantering and quips and things like that. He's very funny at times. Very much a teenager when you see some of the stuff and he gets surprised by something like, whoa, what the heck was that? Or whatever. That kind of stuff, he was so good. Tom Holland, excellent version of Spider-Man. Supporting cast was kind of weird because, of course, you do get to see some of Iron Man and Tony Stark. You see some of these familiar faces from the Avengers, although in some interesting ways, not quite the way that you would expect them to show up. But they're still there. But the rest of his cast, he's got his high school friends, which was really kind of odd. And there's a moment when one of his good friends finds out about everything, and it's pretty hilarious. And the way that they interact and play off each other is pretty brilliant. But all in all, the action was great. The fight scenes were great. The comedy and those more upbeat moments. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, she did a fantastic job. And specifically at the very end of the movie, there's one scene that just had me laughing, and stick through it. I won't spoil it for you, but really, really a good scene. But all in all, this movie was a ton of fun. Really, really enjoyed it. That being said, I do have to say, while I enjoyed it and while I recommend everyone go see it, especially if you're a Spider-Man fan, because Spider-Man fans, you are going to be proud of this version of Spider-Man that you're seeing up on the big screen. This is the version that we've really all been waiting for, where it's not a 30-something-year-old guy trying to pretend he's in high school still. This is legitimately your teenage Peter Parker, web-slinging fun all over the neighborhood, doing all kinds of cool stuff. It's really, really a good time, and it's everything a summer blockbuster movie should be, everything a superhero movie should be, really, especially with Spider-Man, because while there is that darkness in the story, Spider-Man has always had such levity, such humor, such uplifting tones as an overarching theme. He does get to some dark places in the comics, and I'm sure they're going to address that going forward. But there was just something about this movie that, while I enjoyed it, it just did not click with me quite as much as I hoped it would. Maybe it was just that my expectations were way high going into this thing, and I was really, really hoping for something to just blow the doors off it and leave me feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie. We'll probably check it out again, probably on video. I don't know that I'll go back to the theater. And that's the point I wanted to make, is that when I went and saw Wonder Woman a few weeks back, when that came out opening weekend, I saw that movie and I absolutely loved it. I was in hook, line, and sinker. The story, the pace, everything was just spot on for me. And when I left that theater that night after that late show of Wonder Woman, if they would have been playing it again, I would have turned around and went right back in and watched it again. It was that good. I enjoyed it that much. Spider-Man, I didn't have that same feeling. I left the theater saying, yeah, this is a good movie. It was a lot of fun. Boy, they did a good job with it, everything else. And now I'll catch it when it comes out on video again. And at the core of it, even though this isn't an origin movie, it's not the standard, high school Peter Parker gets bit by a radioactive spider and we're going to tell that whole long story of him becoming Spider-Man. This still, in most ways, is still about him becoming Spider-Man. Even though they skip all the radioactive spider biting and transformation and all that stuff, this movie is still about him figuring out who he is in his first real foray or adventures into the world of crime fighting and being a superhero and the lessons he's got to learn through that. So I am really excited to see what the next couple movies for Spider-Man are going to look like, as well as how they've teased some of his appearances with the new, or the next, I should say, Avengers series. So, all in all, great listen to me, great movie series, really fun summer blockbuster. Spider-Man was done justice properly, and he was fantastic. So don't skip it. Definitely get out and watch it, but I also think that it just didn't quite hit the beat for me. There was a few moments where I felt like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. Let's kind of skip forward and see what else is going to happen. So a few moments that dragged just a little bit for me, but it's nitpicking. I really did enjoy the movie, and I recommend you guys see it too. Of course, if you want to talk about it, you can get a hold of me at dave@digitalsouppodcast.com. You can check out the Facebook group. You can check out, hit me up on Twitter. I run most of the Twitter account. Anywhere you want to get a hold of me there. And of course, please, I ask one favor. If you're going to do that, keep it spoiler free, because not everyone has seen it, including my co-host, I'm sure. And so we don't want to ruin the movie for anybody, but let me know what you think about Spider-Man Homecoming. Did it hit the mark for you? Did it fall a little short? What were your thoughts? And as always, you can find us over at digitalsouppodcast.com, where we have a brand new episode going up each and every Tuesday. To boost your Tech Tuesday fun. And you know what? We've got some big things coming up there as far as special episode of our Dear Digital Soup series, where we've got a lot of listener questions we're going to dive into. We have a big live show planned where Jason is traveling up here back to Minnesota, and we're going to be able to all get together and record live in the same room, which should be a ton of fun. We look forward to bringing that to you guys as well. But for now, I'm going to sign off of here. Make sure and check out digitalsouppodcast.com to get a hold of all of our most recent episodes, find our contact information, all the links for our Facebook, Twitter, everything else you want right there. Be sure to hit that subscribe button both down below here on the YouTube channel and over, more importantly, for the podcast itself. So check that out. And of course, I have to mention that we are a proud member of the Gonna Geek Podcast Network, so be sure and check out GonnaGeek.com for a whole bunch of other fantastic podcasts in the geek realm, just like this one here. So you guys take care. I'm off to enjoy a little bit of a nice sunny day with the family and swing into some fun. What do you think, Spider-Man? You recommend this? That'll do it. Have a good one, guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.